Lounge-leets. My name is Aaron Romeo Moon Burke, and I'm here with Mad Matt Windchill and Randy Ranson McCulloch. How's everybody doing today, guys? We are in Randy's lot. Oh, sorry. How are you doing, Randy?
Fine.
Okay.
I will warn you all ahead of time. I might cough a little during this. I've been sick for about 2 months, which is why we haven't really done any lounge leads.
Sit down.
Fortunately, the illness is over, except for the occasional cough.
There.
And Matt unable to control his emote.
Went heroic and then went crazy.
Alright. We're in Champions Online in Randy's Loft hideout. I believe they're called hideouts in Champions Online.
Mm-hmm.
Well, technically, it's Perfect Detectives Loft
Perfect
hideout.
Detective, yes.
We are outside of the Perfect Detective Agency, in the upstairs living area.
There's actually quite a bit of elbow room up here.
Yeah, this is nice. This is better than... This reminds me of the Job luxury apartments in AO.
And actually the camera control is very similar to Anarchy Online.
I don't know. I use a controller for this game. Actually, since we've last done one of these, I've started using a controller in AO too, so...
I've actually, yeah, it's been about 3 weeks since we recorded an episode, but that's because I've been sick, Randy's been sick.
Yeah, we did get some in, for Halloween, and I was sick for those, if I recall correctly.
Mm-hmm, yep.
Yeah, and actually I've been kind of hectic, especially this last week. I started a new D&D game, which is getting recorded.
You think that's bad? I'm starting a new Doctor Who game in a few weeks. And I'm writing the script for that in my spare time.
You're talking about tabletop.
3 days worth already.
Randy, you're talking about tabletop RPG, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just for we have friends that get together on Saturday, and we were going to run a Mutants and Masterminds game where I was going to play the very character I'm on right now, and that got canceled because the GM was swamped. So we're kind of swapping out. We're calling it the Fanboy Saturdays because we're basically all running. We're going to be switching off between adventures to different fanboyish stuff like Bab 5 RPG, Firefly RPG, Doctor Who, etc. So it's pretty much.
I remember the Firefly one. I got shot in the face with my own gun, as I recall.
Yeah, and I was your GM.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, what? Oh,
sounds kind of like something that would happen to Matt.
He botched a roll. It was yeah.
Double once. My shotgun just went zzz.
Yeah, your shotgun just backfired in your face, and you tried to get healed by a doctor that knew more about torture than he did about healing.
I hate you all. I'm now becoming Dr. Von Doom.
Okay.
Good times.
Yeah.
Good times.
Also, speaking of AO a little bit ago, yeah, the Halloween event. So much better.
Halloween event is always the highlight of AO.
It turned out so much better than the epic fail of Secret World.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Halloween on AO has been the same for a decade.
Mm-hmm.
The dog comes in, the Uncle
the same basic idea, but they always bring new stuff into it, is the thing.
Yeah. I still don't like their instance little mission that you can pull, but the rest of it's awesome.
Isn't it pretty much just hunting pumpkin heads out in the Newland Desert?
It's hunting pumpkin heads in various locations.
Oh, okay.
Or pulling missions to go into a mission and kill Uncle Pumpkinhead for old fat loot.
Oh yeah, I've done that mission.
You and Ed take on a big group of grieving Uncle Pumpkinheads, which was entertaining.
Yeah, got us killed horribly too.
Grieving Uncle Pumpkinheads, that sounds kind of interesting.
Okay, the difference between a normal Uncle Pumpkinhead and a grieving Uncle Pumpkinhead in AO is the normal pumpkinheads aren't innately hostile to you.
Oh, okay.
You can walk right past them. You can say that they won't start attacking you until you attack it. They're social, so if you attack one in the range of another, you'll have 2 or more on you. Griefing Uncle Pumpkinheads, however, are innately hostile, and they warp. So you can't run from them. And are normally around level 200. So lobies will get their butts kicked.
Yeah, they're kind of meant for closer to end game.
And they only usually appear in PvP areas. So not only do you got to worry about the grieving Uncle Pumpkinhead, you also got to worry about the ganking idiots behind you.
And I would add air quotes to the normally.
Yeah,
I believe you bumped into them in a non-PvP area this year.
We found some just like 5 inches from a 25% zone. It was kind of cool.
And they proceeded to gang up in about a mob of what, 5 to 10?
There was a stack about 10 deep. They were bugs.
They were just literally on top of each other, and as soon as they saw you, they went, fresh meat.
They were bugged, so they'd respawn even if the other one hadn't been killed. And they didn't move, so you would wind up with a stack of them like 10 deep in this one area. And of course, they'd all ag you at once. And they'd warp you, they'd stun you. They would basically pound the snot out of you.
But yeah, the
Speaking
new
of
character that I made for AO, mostly for these videos, I managed to get him up to 30, which in most MMO standards would be about level 15, I guess, thereabouts.
For what, AO?
Yeah.
Try about level 10. There are 220 levels to AO.
200.
Your average MMO has about 50 levels.
Between 10 and 15, so yeah, I was between level 10 and 15, and that's about right for fighting Uncle Pumpkinheads. And that's the reason why AO's Halloween kind of rocks, because you don't have to be that extremely high before you can start beating on stuff that are within your level for a special.
Champions was so-so.
Yeah, I never did get to see what happened with
I tried
Champions.
it once. There's basically some special arch villains. Well, I shouldn't call them arch villains. That's the City Heroes term. Basically, a special villain that you have to fight in a mission for, loot and question night, etc.
Ooh, question night.
Yeah, I need some.
Yeah, I need to continue mining too.
I tried bidding on some, and it didn't seem to go through.
I'm not worried about that at the moment. I'm more worried about farming it up because I need to use question night to remove some of the mods I've got in my gear, so I can craft them up to higher level mods to put in my new endgame armor. I'm level 40 now. That means I have level 40 equipment that was given to me by, well, a friend. One of the things that Champions is doing, which I will admit this annoys me, it's following the, well, there was a debate on this in one of the chat channels. Somebody else referred to it as a business model. I refer to it as a money-making scheme called the lockbox.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That has just recently entered into Lord of the Rings Online, too.
Now,
God.
Yeah, I've seen them in Lotro. They piss me off in Lotro, too. Alright, for those of you that don't know what the lockbox is in your loot tables for everything you fight, there is a lockbox. The lockbox contains various minor, sometimes beneficial, sometimes not gear, and a small percent chance for some really awesome gear. The small percent being maybe 1 in 1,000. And the model first started, where I was aware of it, on Star Trek Online, where you had the Cardassian lockboxes that had a 1 in 1,000 chance of giving you a Galor-class Cardassian battleship.
Actually, I would say that it might go as far back as Team Fortress 2, because they've had that for a while now.
Probably the original model, but I never played TF2, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. and we get a lot of those things if we just recycle them.
Yeah,
Yep.
I wind up just busting them up and throwing them away.
Yeah, I put some money just to expand my inventory, and that automatically unlocked all the stuff that would normally come in a drop box anyway. So smeg it, toss the drop box.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is that the keys to unlock these boxes, you have to purchase from the in-game store.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my biggest issue with it.
And
Now,
you
DC
can't
Universe
reuse these
Online
keys.
has a similar business model with one exception. And this one exception for me makes DC Universe Online 1 totally acceptable in my book.
Oh.
And that is the exception that is, if you are a paid player, you can unlock their boxes without a key.
Okay, that makes it worth it.
Yes. The boxes are also rarer in DCUO, but that's a plus in my book because I will go through a mission and I will get what are they called in this one? Hover Tank Arsenal lock boxes are the current ones because they just added vehicles to the game. I will get one of these approximately one in every 3 mobs I kill. That is far too common.
Yeah, they're trying really hard to try and get some extra dough.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, DC, you'll see one drop maybe once an hour.
Still a little desperate, but not as bad.
What?
Still a little desperate, but not as bad.
Oh, no, that's not desperate at all. Maybe once an hour.
Oh.
And you don't get a whole bunch of stuff. It's usually just one item. And it's usually, sometimes it's a very nice piece of loot. Sometimes it's a buff or something. And, you know, that's cool. That's all you really need from something like this. And yes, you click on it. And like I said, if you're a paid player, you don't need a key. And you get a cool piece of gear. Heck, I kept my subscription to DCO going solely so I didn't have to use keys. Now think about that, developers that may or may not be listening to this podcast. I'm paying $15 a month for a game I play maybe 3 times a year, just so when I play this game and I get one of these boxes, I don't have to buy a frickin' key to deal with it.
Yep.
Think about that when you're factoring in cost effectiveness for this stuff.
Or as a certain Sean Connery from a certain comedy series would say, stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
It could be worse, Randy. You know what Star Wars The Old Republic is doing now that it's gone free to play?
No, I don't, because I've never touched that game.
You have to pay to unlock hotbar keys.
Oh, for the love of Heidegger.
Oh, for frick's sake.
You can't even access some of your powers until you pay for them. Like, pay to
For the love of
unlock the
Darwinism.
hotbars. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0 on the top of your keyboard.
That's horrible. Who makes this game?
BioWare?
EA.
EA and BioWare.
Oh, okay, it's
And
Electronic Arts.
LucasArts, I guess.
Yeah, I would not blame
Electronic Arts.
BioWare for this because this is not probably one of BioWare's ideas.
Electronic Arts is my second least favorite company in the video game universe right now.
They also teamed up to
Have
to
you
help
heard
create
what
the
EA's been
Sekiro.
saying lately?
Huh.
What's that?
They want to only make web browser games for stuff like Facebook from now on because there's no money to be made in real games.
Well, they teamed up to work on the Secret World with Funcom.
And that's kind of not been going well.
Yeah, that's not been going well either, so
Well,
yeah.
it's not the game's fault.
Yeah, the game
Yeah,
is kind of
that's
it's
a wonderful game.
designs the game. It's because EA is telling them what to do, and it's a really bad idea every time.
No, it's not even that. It's the fact that it had some bad press on release.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot
That
of
too,
games-
but then again, a lot of that was also
Yeah.
people who played on the alpha or beta.
Yeah. They played the beta. They roasted the game based on unfinished content. And when it released, it had a few bugs. Tell me a game that didn't have bugs on release.
This game still has bugs. I jumped off the side of this building and never regained any hit points. I had to actually leave the hideout and be invited to come back in order to regain my hit points.
That is a known bug, by the way. I've done that right in downtown Renaissance Center on my flyer. I relived an old moment from AO when I realized that this game had fall damage. I flew up as high as I could until it wouldn't let me go up anymore and turned off flight. Yeah. Back in the days of AO, back when it had fall damage, and you'd get a Yalm, it was the first thing you did.
We should probably explain what AO is. It's Anarchy Online, which was also it's Funcom's first MMO, right, Randy?
Yeah, it's their first MMORPG. It's been around since June 2001.
Science fiction themed.
Yep. It is.
Which we're still praying for the graphics update, please.
It is the first MMO I ever played. It is still, I consider it my home MMO. My second home, my home away from home, was City of Heroes. And, well, please check previous podcasts for my rant about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
actually the only reason I can't really get into this MMO right now is I'm still trying to get over City of Heroes. I get the feeling I won't be able to do that until the end of the month.
I've almost completely forgotten about COH now.
I haven't touched it because I'll log on and I'll still get bitter. So I
better get angry, get depressed, and log back off again.
Yeah.
I actually had somebody on my WordPress blog post how he was willing to get me up to level 50 if I wanted to, and I was like, I'm sorry, but I've kind of moved on to other games. I still have to record some information on some tunes that I still have on City of Heroes that I don't want to lose that, but as far as recording...
I need to do that too. I'll probably be on COH constantly after Thanksgiving.
I don't know of any characters I really want to save from that. I mean, I've already saved Malice here from that.
Well, I mean, I want to save and take pictures of a lot of my main characters from there. Nom, because COH Nom looks so much better than Champions Nom. Mm-hmm. Old PD. PD was originally a City of Heroes character. I like this version of her a lot better.
Ooh, high pants available for punching in the face. Oh, sorry. High pan just became available on alert. Museum heist.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I wasn't. I've minimized that on my screen, man.
I've actually turned everything off. Yeah.
But yeah, original PD was the City of Heroes character. I like this version better because it's closer to what I was thinking when I made the character, and that was the comic book Gold Digger, if any of you are familiar with that. Mm-hmm. And in this one, I was able to get the skin tone right, and I was able to get, at least on one side of her face, I was able to get the eye markings. So I'm very pleased about that. Now, if they don't let me put dark spots in my hair, I'd be happy. So that was an improvement.
Yeah, I have to say, the first time I tried playing this game, I was really underthrilled by the character creator.
Yeah.
Well, it was, but something just was not hitting a chord right.
When you first start Champions Online, you don't have access to all of the options in the character creator.
Well, I didn't have all the options available for when I first made Malice here either, but he turned out so much better.
Well, if you're used to City of Heroes, it takes a little bit of twitching around with it to actually figure out how it works in the Champions creator. But once you figure it out, you're like, oh, there's a pull down on the top and then selections from the sides.
Mm-hmm.
You go, oh, okay, I have a lot more options than I thought I did.
Yeah, and I would also add that this is not the face I'm going to be keeping with for Malice here, at least not for this costume version. What I've got here right now is based more off my version 1 of Malice when I had the skull mask, but I can't quite get that right in this game. But what I have found is the newer version, with a huge mouth with just rows of fangs and angry red eyes. When I get enough Zen for it, I will be switching over to that face.
Yeah, just a reminder for all of you, Cryptic was bought about a year ago by Perfect World.
Mm-hmm.
And Perfect World has converted everything from the old Cryptic's points to Zen now. That holds true for Star Trek Online as well.
Yep, I noticed they did that recently over there too.
Mm-hmm.
So the character creator here is still missing some options. It's still missing a lot of normal options. Like, I was trying to find a fuzzy sweater and I couldn't. Or a hooded sweatshirt. I would love both of those. So there's going to be, I think, a lot of me messaging the devs asking for costume options. Nam, my City of Heroes character Nam, does not look half as awesome as he did on COH. And of course the fact that the tailor in this game does not give you the option to change your gender means that Nam, who is kind of an XP of the anime character Ranma from Ranma 1/2, can't activate his gender changing curse. Which I would note he had before COH had that option. And when COH had that option, I was just like, oh, I love you guys so much. They've had that for like 2-3 years now.
At least 3 years, yeah.
Alright, guys.
They've had it since at least 2009, 2010.
Yeah, and I would love to see something like that included in this game.
But what were we saying about the character creator? Now that I'm back.
Oh yeah, it's the fact that they're missing a lot of options. Like I mentioned earlier, I was looking for a fuzzy sweater or just a t-shirt. And I can't really find those very well. And if I do, they don't look right. They look, like armored.
Or rubber.
Yeah, and I just want a plain freaking t-shirt.
And my jeans look a little too shiny.
Yeah, I've noticed that too on the jeans that I have for the alternate costume for LC Dracona. Let me see here.
Yeah, even my trench coat kind of looks a little too smooth. So again, I guess it's supposed to be leather, so I can not completely blame it from a distance, but...
Yeah, you might want to try doing it cloth and getting a matte look to it.
Yeah. Well, they don't look too bad over here. Yours look like you left yours in, like, the metal form.
And they're not. I've looked at them. I think I just have a brighter shade that I put to them is the thing.
Yeah, it looks atomic green.
No, we're talking about the jeans.
Atomic blue, too. Or shiny blue. Super shiny blue. Like they were made out of that shiny plastic stuff.
I swear the jeans are just the color I decided to go with. I don't think it's actually...
And, I missed that, too. Costume change emotes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's no... I was wondering about that, too.
How do mine look?
Yours look like normal pants. I mean, they look like khakis.
That's what they're supposed to look like. I might change them to a gray just to offset the fact that they look about the same color as my trench coat.
Yeah.
But actually, this costume was a rush job, as I just unlocked the costume slot for it like 2 days ago, and have been in a zone without a tailor since.
How many costume slots do you get in this game?
Without paying for it, 3 plus 1 if you're in an SG.
Okay.
Then I think you can buy an additional 2 or 3 costumes from the store.
So you could still get like a decent 5 or 6 costume slots, which is what the default was for City of Heroes back in the day.
Yeah, before they went to the free-to-play with the store and increased it to...
10, I think.
Yeah, 10 was the max.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I really like about this game is that you can change the mood of your character.
Oh yeah.
You've got normal, pleasant, grim, determined, courageous, and angry.
I think mine is determined.
I have Skullface. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, yours, it doesn't matter. They're a Skeletor.
That bubbling He-Man!
And Matt shows off his impressionism.
I would, but, I'm still half stuffed. So, trying to do voices is horrible. I can do accents okay. I mean, I probably have one of the best English accents of our group, but that comes from years and years of watching public television.
Oh, PBS.
Lovely big man. He couldn't even grab He-Man this time. What's he good for anyways? Stupid orange-haired beast thing. Oh, that's right. I use his teeth for opening beer cans. That's right.
I do have to see.
Man, what's Merman good for? Talking to fish?
That's
Frick, Uncle Man.
What's the highest level characters you have in this game? I think you said yours was 13, Aaron?
Yeah, I'm going to try focusing on one character. I don't know if that'll work, though.
Yeah, all
I
Titus
just want
can
to
hit
sink
you.
in.
Fortunately, you have less character slots here than you do on City of Heroes.
Yeah, City of
I felt
Heroes,
that-
your default... Wasn't it... Well, no, the maximum that you could have on one server was 48 character slots.
Something like that. It was
Ye-
12 times. Not quite 48. Oh, no, it was 48. 12, 24. Yeah, four 12 character rows of characters.
Mm-hmm.
I never got that high.
Mm-mm.
I know some people who did, though.
I got pretty close. I think I used at least half of them.
I know I was in the fourth row,
Yeah, that's...
but I think I was only about halfway through it. So I was only at about, 42.
Yeah, I know that there are a few characters that I can bring over from City of Heroes that will match up with this game fairly well with just the pre-made archetypes. I think I might have to buy one or two. Like, the
Yep.
Master would fit Janira Rise.
Well, if you pay, you get a lot of those better on the 15 a month. Yeah. You get access to all of those archetypes immediately.
Yeah.
My question would be, do you get to keep them if you stop after 1 month?
I'm not sure.
That's also...
I think you can keep your existing characters, you just can't make any more.
That's...
So it might be worth it to pay for 1 month if you want to make a character from a certain type, then.
If it was just one character, it probably wouldn't be worth it. I would just unlock it. But if you're looking to make a whole bunch of characters, then it might be okay. I'm not sure, though, if they're made gold characters, if you can convert them to silver.
That's one thing that I would like to look into is maybe getting a lifetime subscription for this game and the Secret World. The Secret World especially, since that's fairly new and it probably isn't going to get shut down anytime soon.
It's a Funcom game. When do Funcom games ever get shut down?
I don't know.
It just means that EA won't be a part of the game anymore.
Look at Anarchy Online. It's been circling the toilet now since 2008. And Funcom is pretty much determined not to shut it down.
I wish they would offer lifetime subs for that.
They never have offered lifetime subs for that except for maybe at launch. They occasionally give them away at the anniversary and Christmas parties. But they only ever give away one per server on that point. Of course, this year they're merging down to one server, so.
Well, that's one thing, is that one of the reasons why there's less characters on this, or character slots on this game, is probably because it's only one server, at least from what I've seen. Champions Online is one server, right?
Server select unless maybe you have a foreign version or something.
I think they were originally planning there to be, and they just kind of got rid of it. Because if you remember, this game had a horrific launch.
I know it was supposed to be on Xbox 360 as well. That's why the controller is so compatible with this game. And I've started using a controller with this game now. The only time I have problems with it is with the need or greed or pass voting. It doesn't always work for that. I usually have to go for a mouse for that stuff. But
I'm used to playing with a combination of controller and mouse, so it's not a big deal for me. But yeah, I play with my Logitech pad set on Xbox compatibility, and I beat the crap out of this game with it. I do the same thing with STO. Yeah, and my cat's being annoying. And
Hi, Nappa.
Hi, Nappa. I'm going to have a special section on the cast for this show. It's going to be called The Voices. We'll have Shayna on there. We'll have Nappa.
Nappa.
Anybody else who appears in the background as a voice and not a character.
No, you have to put that too. Nappa as his whiny self. In the ass.
Randy, I want petting. I want food. Change my litter.
In case you all hadn't heard that story, the last time I was sick, my cat wouldn't stop yelling at me the entire time I was sick. I was watching a lot of Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and the whine became Vegeta, Vegeta, Vegeta. And eventually I just looked over and went, God damn it, Nappa! And the cat got renamed right there.
As he also quietly just went silent for a moment and walked away.
Yeah, his name used to be Jasper.
Yeah, so it's the same vowel sounds. The cat don't give a shit. Personally, I think he wouldn't care if I called him Fred.
Fred?
Dead Fred. I just met a Mind Flayer named Fred.
Oh god.
His name is too complicated to recite back, so he just went with the first person he helped alter their mind for.
Pardon me.
Alright, so, what do you guys...
Matt, how high is your character?
My current character here?
That your highest character in Champions.
That'll be this one and level 16. I have yet to make another character.
So neither of you have gotten into the 20s yet, so you're still basically fooling around West Side.
If I really want to, I could probably start pushing for getting up there again, though. I'm literally one square away from level up to 17.
Because you sound like you're about ready for Canada there, eh?
Not there, hey.
Yeah,
no, I'm not kidding. The first
up there to get a beat on a goose, eh?
First zone you go to, once you're done with West Side.
Actually, I think they were trying to get me to go over there already.
Yep.
I'm like, not yet. I'll wait on that. There's a lot of things to do here.
You have to go protect Canada. And technically you keep going back to Canada till you're about level 35 there, eh?
So do I get to meet the Zapdos tower there?
You have to go. Actually, the amount of XPs in this game is amazing.
XPs?
XPs, parodies, pastiches of... Actually, they're close to the parodies of other characters. One of the contacts you get in West Side is a character by the name of Burt Jackson. Who, if you superimpose the first syllable to those, you get Jack Burton. Who was the main character of Big Trouble in Little China, as played by... Anybody?
Kurt Russell.
Thank you. I almost had to go to Bueller. I was going to be surprised. Kurt Russell played Jack Burton in an 80s cheese classic called Big Trouble in Little China. Great movie. If you haven't seen it, go rent it.
Also, the first review from Alice here.
There's also a Gangnam Style, Lopan Style.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, and the main villain of West Side is called Hypan.
Hypan, which is the opposite of Lopan from the movie.
Yep. And you see little pastiches of various stuff on and off throughout the various zones. There's a whole villain group which looks like they're evil versions of Earthworm Jim.
I've seen the Clockwork Orange group there too.
Yeah, that's also in West Side.
There's also the purple guys. I'm not sure if those are supposed to be a reference to anything.
I'm not sure either. No, they're actually from the original Champions book.
Okay. I do know one of the quests for them is purple haze or something like that.
Oh, all the mission titles are parodies.
Yeah.
But I've also been working with a character, and I'm trying to remember the name now, because I've just met this character.
But no, I'm kind of hoping I bump into a Zap Rousdower wannabe out there. Because that would be epic win. For those of you who are not in the know who are in our audience, and for those of you amongst the other two of us that don't know about this, well, first of all, to start it off, I'm a huge fan of Mystery Science Theater, hence the reason why I run B-movie stuff. In one of their movies, a Canadian movie called The Final Sacrifice, which takes place in Canada, there's a main character who has become a cult classic up there of Chuck Norris called Zap Rousdower. This guy has survived being hit by trucks, riding up mountainsides, and taking on an evil cult almost single-handedly with an annoying kid. And he is made of epic win and cheesy awesomeness.
Well, another parody character you meet near Endgame, you wind up fighting a gang called the New Shadows, which are all vampires.
Oh god.
And as you're fighting them, you become the acquaintance of a character by the name of Taffy Winters, who was a high school cheerleader turned vampire hunter.
Oh god.
Oh god. Tell me, when you kill one of the vampire leaders, does he literally stand back up, go, ah, oh, fall back against the wall,
They all dust pretty nice. It's kind of cool.
Does he turn into Paul Rubens?
Yes, that's essentially what I'm referencing. Does he turn into Paul Rubens from the movie?
No.
Oh.
At least not that I've seen yet.
You have to fight the boss and tell us.
The actual vampire boss is, it's a reference in itself. Let's see if I actually have anything with his name in here.
Or at least one of the secondary bosses, if there are any.
I haven't really met any yet.
Aw.
The name, I had to find the exact name that it's called. The main boss of the New Shadows is Vladik Dracul.
Vlad Tepish, Dracula.
It really makes me want to roll a character that's a parody of Alucard from Hellsing and go kick his ass.
Actually, I'd be going for Alucard from Castlevania myself, but
watch Hellsing Ultimate. They're the same damn character.
Well, I mean Alucard from Castlevania. Wait, huh?
Anyway,
it's all Dracula.
What Alucard you're talking about? Yeah, I know the Alucard from the two different versions of Hellsing. I'm talking about the Alucard from Castlevania.
No, I mean you get to near the end of Hellsing Ultimate. You see Alucard's true form, and he looks like the face looks like Dracula from Castlevania. It's awesome.
I always kind of figured there was something more to Alucard than he wanted to let on.
I never finished the manga myself. I think I own. There's only four volumes of the Hellsing Ultimate OVA, right?
No, there's currently 9, 8 of which have been released domestically. and Volume 10 comes out or Episode 10 comes out in Japan on Boxing Day.
Oh, interesting. I'll have to catch up with that then.
I think I've been seeing pre-orders for box sets too for a piece.
Aaron, just to let you know, Funimation has it all up subtitled 1 through 8 on YouTube and on Hulu.
I can watch it on Hulu. I have a Hulu Plus account for PlayStation.
And you can watch it commercial free, I think.
No, you can't.
Because that was why I watched it on YouTube, because there were no commercials.
Yeah, Hulu Plus, even if you pay for Hulu, you still have to watch commercials on the new stuff.
That's stupid.
And
yeah, the very worst, at least on YouTube, you only have a commercial at the beginning and a commercial at the end.
Now, if you have Ad Block Plus,
you don't have any of them at all.
Yeah.
But we're getting off topic there.
Yes.
But yeah.
I think we may have talked about Champions Online somewhere in this podcast. I'm not quite sure.
We talked about it a little bit, but then you had to go to the bathroom, and we got sidetracked.
Yeah. Alright, so what about the missions? Like, I noticed I've actually stopped reading the mission text after a while, which is really...
Yeah, so the thing is, right where you are right now, Aaron, is you're doing stuff for generic police officer guy. Yeah, that stuff's kind of boring and samey. I should actually show you by the time you reach level 16 like I am, I should bring you to the Jack Burton character, and you'll start reading text left, right, center.
Okay.
He's hilarious.
Good,
He's awesome.
There is a lot of missions, which are your basic MMO missions. Talk to this guy, kill these monsters to farm up X amount of pieces, kill X amount of monsters. That's standard MMO fare.
Touch the glowy.
Touch the glowy. But the thing is, once you get above like level 15, you can start wandering into other areas. You've got your choices of where you can go kill stuff. You go up to Canada there, eh? Or you go out to the west, into the desert.
Or as I also mentioned, go to the Jack Burton guy here in town, and he will help beef you up before you head off to those two locations and give you actual storyline.
You should be hitting the Jack Burton guy around 10-ish. Maybe 11-ish.
I have not yet met him, I don't think.
I didn't bump into him until you guys actually mentioned mentioned him.
Well, it's kind of, you only get to talk, only get him as a direct contact, as in, another contact referencing him, if you finish the missions for this other contact.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can just wander up to him and talk to him directly, and he'll start the missions.
And you also have to be a certain level to unlock all of the missions as well.
One of the things that I like about this game is, like City of Heroes, you don't usually get repeat bad guys. Some of them you do. Viper is an ongoing bad guy throughout almost all the zones. But Viper is itself a parody.
Oh?
Of Cobra?
Of Cobra. So I want to make an entire new supergroup with characters who all have names like Duke, Snake Eyes, Flint.
Which one would I get?
What?
Which one would I end up with?
Girl.
I call Lady Scarlet.
What?
I call Scarlet. She was my favorite character because in the cartoon at least she had a relationship with Duke, and I thought Duke was cute when I was little.
And all we do was missions against Viper.
Awesome.
And we're there! Does that mean we have to make sure we have guns with blue lasers?
That would be the supergroup motto. Knowing is half the battle. The other half is red and blue lasers.
We have to have the blue lasers.
I know what I'd call my character instead of Scarlet. I'd call her Prussian Blue, and she'd have dark blue hair.
But yeah, it's just something I'd almost like to do just out of sheer parody value. It'd be great. Also to get people to roll eyes as we go running in.
So instead of Snake Eyes, would it be like Scorpion Eyes?
I don't know. I haven't really thought of it.
Spider Eyes, maybe, too?
Every now and then I run into Viper, and it's just like, yeah, I gotta do that.
I can't wait to do that.
Just hit the G.I. Joe theme on repeat.
You also get to Monster Island, which, by the way, is the island of Dr. Freaking Moreau.
Awesome.
Because you've got all these man beasts running around.
I am not an animal. Oh wait, maybe I kind of am.
I'm funny because, of course, I'm playing on PD here, who is a were-cheetah. And, yeah, just reminding you, she is a were-cheetah. And so they try, and I get to a boss, and the boss tries to stop me by sticking a whole bunch of rat men on me. I'm just like, oh, you sent me dinner.
He's so precious.
And then he sticks birds on me. It's like, a second course?
Angry
Yes.
birds have got nothing on this kitty.
And there's also a whole bunch of cat men over there, which, I almost see the character idly flirting with as she's kicking their ass.
I'll go see you in the hospital.
No, it'd be more like, we could have a lot of fun, honey, but you're evil. Cack.
Awesome.
But, there's a lot of characters and villain groups in here that are fun. The voice acting in this game is cheesy as all hell.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Conventional.
Yeah, I've been noticing a lot of that corn stuff.
I actually, if I turn my sound down like I have now to be on a call for cast a general call, and I hit a cutscene, I'm like, oh, I'm missing the cheesy voice acting.
I do like that it has voice acting at least.
Yes, I love the voice acting. I love the fact that you see the models, their mouths move as their voice acting.
My only problem with that is that they look like fish gulping for air. It's like whoop 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 whoop. I do like the fact that if you keep clicking on like the citizens, they will cycle through dialogue, but it doesn't really feel like random dialogue. Some of the groups, if you wander into like a group of citizens, they will start interacting with each other, and if they're acting like they're having an argument and you click on them, they will start off arguing with you, and then if you keep clicking on them, they'll cycle through. And, like, for example, one of them, I ran into one group where one of the NPCs was a fangirl who had started her own fan club to me, but she was trying to reassure me that she totally wasn't stalking me. And then she started yelling at me for killing one of the villains because he was her friend. So that kind of broke the immersion, but, yeah.
Idle away from that one.
Taking a few steps back, waving, give a reassuring smile, and fly in the air.
Yeah. So that did kind of break the immersion there. There is some recycled dialogue, but for a little bit there, it did feel like I was actually interacting with the citizens instead of them just waving hi or instead of a woman in a skirt or who looks like the local librarian wandering up, and her name happens to be Robert. That's something that is kind of a little refreshing too. I haven't seen that.
You actually saw this?
Oh yeah.
Well,
in City of Heroes that happened, not in Champions.
Oh, in City of Heroes? Well, in City of Heroes, you just have to appreciate Robert's life choice.
Yeah. It could happen, I guess. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be your life choice, but whatever floats his boat.
Mhm.
Hi, my name's Robert. Hi, Robert.
Yeah, it's.
Yes,
Lordy.
you have to respect Robert's life choice. That's all we have to say on that.
You also don't see You also don't see the NPCs walking around in Champions. Unlike City of Heroes, you'll look down on them from a building, and you'll see like a whole line of NPCs just following one right after the other on like a little train.
One of the things that does bother me in this game, the escort missions.
I've only really
I-
run into one of those.
You were
I've had a few, and they usually aren't too bad. And I will give them credit though. If you do end up failing in the middle of an escort mission, the guys you killed stay killed, unless they're actually a natural spawn.
or if they're an ambush, yeah. But that's not what bothers me. What bothers me is you're rescuing a guy who's just been captured by a villain group, who's scared as hell and wants you to protect him as he's going there, and how does he walk off? He strides towards his location, pauses, waves at an invisible crowd, looks down and mutters to himself as he's walking down the way. The hell, man?
Maybe he's just practicing.
And the thing is, it doesn't matter. I mean, the first time I saw it was a politician, so I'm like, okay, natural behavior. Then I saw it happen with a woodsman. I'm like, the fuck?
Are you talking about the lawyer that you have to escort back to the police?
Yes.
Okay.
I have yet to see that happen.
I saw it.
He's like the
Actually,
district...
my character. I did see one girl. I walked somewhere, kind of stop and wave, but it was actually at people.
Yeah.
But no, they'll wave even if there's no people. I'm in the middle of the freaking northwest part of Canada. There's nobody out there. We're trying to get through a pathway between two villages full of freaking Bigfoot. And the guy strides forward, pauses, waves at a cliff face, looks down, mutters to himself as he strides forward. I'm like, no.
I'm a lumberjack and I'm kind of strange. I wave at rock faces and I mutter to myself.
Another problem I have with these same escort missions is when you're doing them in Millennium City, which is, by the way, the big city in the game. It's called Millennium City because it was rebuilt around the Millennium after one of the main villains of the game destroyed Detroit. This makes it kind of interesting for us Midwesterners, because that means that if you ever want to figure out what the weather would actually be like in Millennium City, you look out your goddamn window and figure it's within 5 degrees.
Detroit, eh? Does
Yeah.
that mean I need to make a robotic hero cop?
If you want to, Matt, you want to go with that, go ahead.
Dun, dun,
I think it's probably the costume pieces to do it.
dun, 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 dun.
Anyway.
I haven't watched that movie in so long. I've still been.
There are certain events which cause unique villain groups to spawn in various areas of Millennium City. These villain groups are represented, instead of seeing the level of the guys, you see a skull, which means regardless of your level, they're going to be a certain level range from you, whether you're 5 or 40. Now, sometimes this means that these mobs will be purple to you. The problem is that sometimes these mobs are also in the path of your escort mission.
Oh, God.
You see the problem of this, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
I had a mission where I was supposed to escort a CEO and a bunch of these little idiots from point A through a couple of buildings to point B. Dead middle of the two buildings was a purple spawn of, I think it was Dr. Destroyer's robots, which spawned not too far from where the ambush spawn was going to be for that particular bit. So, of course, the ambush spawn social triggered the Dr. Destroyer robots, so I had to fight off both spawns and try to protect everybody. Needless to say, it didn't work too well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was because of the event going on, I believe, at the
Yes.
time, which was the destroyer robots were everywhere.
Yeah, it was just annoying the crap out of me.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that special
you know,
event, I
That was the
hated
first time
that.
I really had a problem with escort missions on this game.
I've seen where the escort mission's pathing goes, and kept the robots the hell out of there. Because those missions are enough of a pain in the ass by themselves that they don't need to have additional problems from the event spawns.
Yeah, they really need a tweak on that.
Yeah.
I do like how in this game compared to City of Heroes, it's a little bit easier to see where my character is regarding stats and how to build my character. There's a little bit more guidance. I don't want to
Yes.
say it's like it's not exactly rigid. I mean, I am playing the marksman, hence the bow and arrows on my back.
So you probably have a primary stat of what? Dexterity?
Yeah, dexterity.
Yeah.
And then dexterity, intelligence, and ego.
Yeah, mine being the savage, which basically does for this character what I've always wanted this character to be able to do in City of Heroes. It's manual claws and regeneration of sick and wrong. Fully twinked in City of Heroes, I was able to pull off a base regeneration rate of, I think, about 120 hit points per second.
For my character, my base things are intelligence, ego, and presence.
Mine are strength, constitution, recovery. But in this game, right now, my passive regeneration is 577 health every 3 seconds. You break that down, that's almost 200 hit points per second. I'm also not done tweaking for level 40. Additionally, I gain 30% resistance to all damage.
How do you tweak your stuff in here?
It's gear.
Oh, by the way, Matt, you're AFK. Otherwise known in this game as dead as a doornail.
No. That is a doornail thing? That's a title.
Oh.
Anyway.
Okay, so yeah,
if
tweaking
you-
your
if you
gear,
look down-
adding mods.
If you look down between your attack bar, your item bar, you've got your 3 gear items. When you hit your inventory, that becomes 6 items. That's your gear. You've got your offensive items, your defensive items, and your utilities, and a primary and secondary for each. Y'all see that? Well, I think Erin has her UI off, but
Yeah, I do have it on here. Primary offense, secondary offense, primary defense, secondary defense, primary utility, secondary utility, and what was the other thing you were saying?
that's all gear.
Mm-hmm.
Now, eventually, you'll be able, I think like once you hit about level 15, you'll be able to start getting gear that has mod slots in it. Mod slots allow you to modify the gear to have certain bonuses. This, I think, is only really done in the primary slots.
And that's what, level 15 you said?
About that, yes. You'll get your first piece of mod gear, which will give you a mission to talk to a guy in the Renaissance Center about modding equipment.
Okay.
You can choose then whether your specialty is going to be arms, science, or mystical. I chose arms because strength, dexterity, and constitution mod items were all arms based. Dex is arms based too, but I think ego is mystical and intelligence is science. So you might have to figure out which you want to go with.
Okay. I think I chose science, but
Anyway, what you do there is that's the start of crafting. When you guys take a look at the bank sometime, if you take a look at our SG vault, we have a lot of crafting items in there. You can craft mods for gear it'll start at 1 and craft all the way up to, I think, 9. But I wouldn't really try to put a 9 in your current stuff. Really wait until you have high-end stuff for that, because the only way to remove anything, I think, above a 5, you have to use Questionite to take it out of stuff.
so you
Right
can
now,
remove
Right
mods.
now, I need to earn up about 10,000 Questionite because I need to strip stuff out of my current coat to put into my new piece of armor.
Okay. So unlike City of Heroes with the enhancements, where if you slotted an enhancement, it was in there for good unless you respected, you can actually remove mods here. It just can
Yes.
cost some
It,
material.
it costs either resources or questionite, and above a certain level, it only takes questionite.
Okay.
Questionite, by the way, for those of you out there, is a rewards for certain missions that can be used to buy certain equipment, or it can be exchanged for Zen to be used in the in-game store. They got this idea for Champions from STO, which was doing the same thing with dilithium.
Yep.
So it's really just dilithium, only not. In addition, these mods can add any of the stats. They can also add offense, defense, additional hit points, crowd control, resistance. It can add a whole bunch of different effects, which are all nice. Certain armor pieces will only allow certain enhancements. Right now, my robe allows 2 mod slots. It allows 1 defense slot and 1 armor slot. So basically a defense mod and a stat. My hand is 1 offense slot and 1 enhancement slot. And if you're wondering why I'm seem to be lisping slightly, it's because I chipped a tooth recently. So,
Ooh.
Oh, jeez.
yeah, I chipped a front tooth, not good. And then my helmet, for instance, has an enhancement slot, and I think the other one's also an enhancement slot. So, or it might be a utility slot. I don't know. So, it's, you can basically have, you'll start out with 1 slot items at around 15, and I think around 30 you'll start to see 2 slot items.
Okay.
And then I really, the 3 and 4 slot items are rare stuff. Really rare stuff.
Okay.
Like, the only 4 spotter that we've seen for armor was out of the lock boxes prior to the last one we got, the Legion lock boxes. I happen to have a Legion breastplate that was given to me by a friend, which I need to, get the high-level mods to put in there and turn it into a breastplate of awesome.
Okay.
The armor's not visible on your character, which I like, because, you spend 3 hours tweaking something in the character generator. You don't want to have it overlaid by whatever you put on there.
Another great idea that I'm assuming they carried over from City of Heroes.
Well, you didn't really have gear in City of Heroes. You just had enhancements.
Mm-hmm.
Although technically some of those enhancements were meant to be gear, but...
Yeah, they were given the title of Torque or Bracelet or Circlet.
But DCUO, when you get a new piece of gear that has a different costume look, if you haven't locked your costume pieces, suddenly you'll wind up with a different appearance on your character.
Mm-hmm.
It's slightly annoying. But another thing I like about this is starting at level 25, you get what's called your nemesis.
Oh, yes, I've heard of this.
You get to custom build a bad guy that will be your personal character's arch nemesis.
When, where, how?
When you hit level 25, you'll get...
25. Okay, I only heard 5.
25. You will start... you'll get a message to talk to somebody at the police station in City Center. and you'll have to enter your nemesis into the Until database. And when you do this, every now and then, you'll be dealing with something, and you'll get ambushed by your nemesis as bad guys. And they'll drop items that'll give you nemesis-specific missions.
Okay.
That you can complete and will reward you with, like, nemesis tokens for specific gear. It's a nice little thing.
It is.
Because it allows you to custom tweak the game based around your character.
You can even add villains from City of Villains, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm planning on doing. Like when Patriot gets to level 25, I think his nemesis is going to be Weeple Boy.
I'm not sure what I would do for Malice, because Malice is supposed to kind of sort of be a villain already.
You could
He's
have
just
your good self.
doing the hero thing because it just kind of fell upon him.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. There is no villain equivalent of Champions Online. DCUO has a villain side. City of Heroes had a villain side. Champions does not.
Which makes one tilt their head and go, meh.
It
They
could
just
be in the
couldn't find a way
works.
to integrate it into the storyline properly.
Yeah.
You know, if they had to shoehorn it in, it would feel shoehorned.
Yeah. And to be honest, it feels like they can... not that this game is bad or anything, but it still feels like they're having a hard time keeping up with some of the stuff going on with this game.
I think they're getting pulled in many directions at once.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would also add, though, that they seem to be going in the right direction with a few ideas. Namely the vehicles that they've just recently introduced.
I'm of two minds about those.
My main thing is that I did look up what the different designs are, and one of them looks like a one of the speed bikes from Return of the Jedi when they're on Endor.
So I looked at that and I went, oh, they've introduced face front bikes.
Now the thing is that now you take that design, you make it so it only runs on the ground, make it have wheels, and they're that much closer to having a bike.
Yeah,
and as soon as they have a bike, I am making a Common Rider.
How hard is it to make a freaking goddamn motorcycle travel power?
Exactly.
It seems like most of the vehicles I've seen are just flight-oriented.
All of them are. The ones that they have released right now are. But, again, one of them looks like one of the speed bikes from Star Wars Return of the Jedi. All they need to do is do a few tweaks, make it completely ground-based, and we finally have a bike.
I just want a freaking, like, racing-style bike.
Yeah, it doesn't even need to be fancy, as long as I can actually have at least some sort of a bike.
I'm just picturing your were-cheetah on a
Oh no, the
sports
were-cheetah
bike.
would never. The were-cheetah would never be in a bike. I'm sorry, those things can only do what? 150, 200?
Mm-hmm.
But you have to remember these are hero-based ones, though, too, so they're probably modded for faster.
PD's working on the sound barrier. What's your problem?
Oh, just a little tweak at the end here. We'll have the sound barrier broken in no time, don't you know?
We were making jokes in Mutants and Masterminds about PD getting pulled over for speeding. And later plans that once I actually got her above the speed of sound to buzz the police station. You guys remember the movie Top Gun? Where Maverick buzzed the con tower of the aircraft carrier?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, the guy in there drinking coffee as it happened, and you just go, whoa!
Maverick!
Yeah. That's my plans for the police station. Boom!
Yeah! But yes, with the new flying vehicles, I have high hopes that it should not be too much longer before they come up with a bike. at least at most a year.
I'm still doing okay with my running, although I've adjusted my character build now to do more critical damage, which means I can't really be running. I have to be careful about where I run and jump.
Wanted this all the time I was at
travel
City
power
of
do you
Heroes
have?
Palace. Whee!
Travel power do you have, Aaron?
I have one of the acrobatics,
Okay.
where you do flips and stuff.
Running,
which is,
jumping, climbing trees, yes.
yeah, it's pretty much what I was going for in City of Heroes also. I'll probably grab like if they do come out with a motorbike, this character would probably be driving that, either that or a nice sports car.
Yeah. One of the things I like about this game is the sheer volume of travel powers you get.
Mm-hmm. They just introduced the Cape Glide power.
Yes.
Where you
I
can,
also noticed that they just introduced a Ninja Leaf travel power.
Yep.
Yeah, not really interested in that.
Yeah, I kind of turned my head and went, how does that work?
Yeah.
Not to mention, I think that's kind of for the Naruto fans, I'm beginning to think.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, exactly.
I do kind of like being able to do a backflip and stuff, and just kind of bounce around and everything. So, one thing that I do like is that I can actually run along rooftops and like ledges and be able to fire my weapon at the same time. That I thought was actually really awesome. I can actually do archery from a decent height without being out of range, which is always kind of frustrating in City of Heroes. Sometimes I try to do that and I wouldn't be able to get the kill because I was out of range.
Yeah, I love PD's Savage Power is awesome. I've mentioned the regen's awesome. The fact that they actually use your actual hands as weapons as opposed to having like Wolverine claws, I find to be personally awesome. It's what I've wanted for City of Heroes forever.
Mm-hmm.
But the sheer number of travel powers.
Yeah, well, you have super speed, don't you? Super run?
I have what's called Mach Speed,
Okay.
which is a variation on super speed.
So there's multiple super speeds?
Yeah, the animation for it is different.
Okay.
The original super speed, I originally had super speed on this tune, and I hated how the run looked, because it was the two hands trailing behind the character as they were running, and it didn't look...
Sounds more like Ninja Run, almost.
It looked like the Ninja Run animation from City of Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Only it was high speed. So, I switched it to Mach Speed, and that has more of the lean forward while your arms pump run, and that looks right. That looks right to me. At level 35, however, you can also select a second travel power.
Oh, good.
I have yet to do so, because I haven't figured out what I wanted. I looked at the travel powers going, no, no, no.
At what level?
35.
35, okay.
I'm like, don't want that, don't want that.
I know there's at least a couple different acrobatic travel powers, but then there's also like there's also something like athletics. So you have two different types of acrobatics, and you have at least one type of athletics, which athletics just kind of boosts your run speed and your jump height. So it's kind of like the inherent fitness tree, or the fitness tree that became inherent.
Acrobatics is Ninja Run. It's Ninja Run from City of Heroes. It's a bastard hybrid of super speed and super jump. It's not as awesome as either, but you have a little of both.
Oh, because I thought I was using acrobatics. Maybe I'm using athletics right now.
That's the same power.
Okay.
Just different animation.
Okay. That's interesting. I wonder, do they have a super jump? They have to have a super jump.
I'm looking. I'm pretty sure they do.
Yeah. And I know they have at least a few different types of flight. They have rocket boots. Unless, Matt, that is a travel power, right? Rocket boots?
Yeah, that is one I bought. That's the one I have.
Okay.
Yeah, there's something I need to buy. I need to buy heroic power flight, and I need that for Patriot. My 4-color tank. Yeah, because I look at the purchasable travel powers, I'm like, don't want it, don't want it, don't want it, don't want it.
Tornado flight.
Like tornado flight. What are some of the other ones, guys, that we can just list
The one
them
I
off?
have is actually called jet boots.
Blazing
Shadow
speed, which is you're leaving a fire trail.
Okay.
Rocket jump.
Distortion acrobatics. Distortion super speed, where you're running and you have kind of a distortion field around you.
Okay.
Light speed.
Electric teleport, which I suspect looks very similar to the City of Heroes teleport. Energy slide. Should be pretty self-explanatory. Heroic power flight, which is just flight with a heroic animation pose. Light speed travel power, which is running while leaving a Tron light bar behind you. Magic carpet flight, self-explanatory. Ninja vanish, self-explanatory. Phoenix flight, self-explanatory. Rainbow flight, oh god.
Oh yes, that's when you can do the Nyan Cat rainbow flight. You have like a little cloud that you sit on, and then the cloud, when it travels, it leaves like the light bar like from Tron, but it's colored like a rainbow. So you can make yourself into a Nyan Cat.
Actually, there's two different versions, with and without clouds.
Okay.
Yeah, the without cloud version, you're Rainbow Dash.
Yeah.
Retractable wings, self-explanatory. Shadow wings, self-explanatory. Tornado flight, that would be kind of like Red Tornado from the DC Comics. Earth flight, you're flying on a big rock. Fire flight.
Tunneling.
Torch.
Tunneling. Hello, Bugs Bunny.
Hover disc. Ice slide. Yeah, that should be self-explanatory. That's Iceman.
That's what Barry
Jet
has,
boots.
yeah.
Rocket jump. Swinging. Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Actually, swinging is the art looks like Spider-Man, but I looked at the images. It's more like Batman.
So if you got swinging and cape glide, you could be the goddamn Batman.
Yep. Swing, flap. I'm Batman. Da, 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 da.
And yeah, tunneling, travel power, Bugs Bunny, Mole Man.
Superpower Bugs Bunny. So the anime action ripoff Bugs Bunny. Sadly, they did make that cartoon.
But that's various powers you can get. You can also get certain travel powers using the merits you get from missions, the MCPD merits, the Until merits, etc. You've gotten some of those, I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
MCPD recognition, Primus recognition, Until recognition.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a few different currency types in this game, but the recognitions are at various levels. You'll start seeing Primus recognition when you get into places like Canada, and you won't see Until recognition until you hit Endgame, like Monster Island.
Okay.
See, I keep hearing Monster Island and I want to be able to beat up Godzilla.
No, but you can kill a giant mecha dinosaur.
Awesome.
Okay, so I get to beat up Mecha Godzilla. I guess that's close
Well,
enough.
it's more like a mecha T-Rex, but yeah.
It's Mechagodzilla.
It's also a legendary monster, so it will probably kick your ass.
Well, it just means I need to train harder.
It'll still probably kick your ass.
Harder!
Well, it's good to know that they actually have giant monsters in this game, or something like it.
I'll rip its toe off.
Yeah, we were actually that's not the equivalent of a giant monster.
Oh.
The equivalent of a giant monster is if you click on something and you see that type is called celestial.
Oh, okay.
Celestial is, oh holy hell, I don't want to go near that. That's going to hurt like a motherfucker. I learned that because if you go into the desert, there's occasionally a celestial monster that will, be having a tantrum in there. And I'm like, I had just gotten through soloing a legendary boss from a mission of one of the team event missions.
Mm-hmm.
So I was feeling, badass. I'm like, dude, I can take on anything. My regen is so awesome, I can do this. Ooh, what's that? Celestial. What's celestial? I'm gonna go kill it. I'm gonna go
Punch.
Nas.
Oh.
I did nothing. It turned around, and it beat me to death with my own arm.
Snap. Ah.
I pretty much woke up and went, okay, I'm not playing with that again. That hurt. So I talked to my friend Tara, and Tara's like, yeah, you don't mess with celestial monsters, and you have like a group of like 30 people.
Oh, Tear. Is he still Leroying these days?
He's gotten pretty badass in this game. He was the guy that gave me my level 40 armor.
Ah.
Because apparently he spent a small fortune on those lock boxes.
Jeez.
Crack, crack. Daddy needs his crack. Crack, crack. Chests.
Because he wanted to get all 4-slot armor for Tear. So. And as far as I'm aware, he did.
This is Terrence Knight you guys are talking about, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, one of our
friends
Sea of Heroes
friends who came over here to feed his superhero fix.
From the legendary chat, yeah. I also recall he had a problem reading maps, the mini-maps. He'd always get lost. I think. I don't know.
Yeah. It's either that or he'd just not look at them. And
sometimes he just never bothered and just Leroy on and off on his own.
Yeah.
And after a few minutes, we'd be like, where's Terrence anyway?
He's defeating the other half of the map.
He's either defeating it or running away from it.
Tear, run, what? Yeah. No. No.
Actually, that's right. I don't think I've actually ever seen him run. He usually just sits there and dies.
Tear, die, what? What?
No, dude, I have seen him die.
I've seen him in multiple spawns of 8-man spawns, and I've watched his hit point bar not go anywhere. The only time I've seen him die, I think, was those freaking Nemesis mobs from City of Heroes that would hit you with the power gank. Now, mind you, he used to nom those blue enhancement stuff like Tic Tacs. Or those purple enhancements like Tic Tacs, so that he'd wind up with like 5 purples. But yeah, he very rarely died.
I could have sworn I've seen him do it a couple of times.
Well.
Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
Maybe it's just you. Now, mind you, PD's original COH version kind of revolved around dying and coming back to life. Because, yeah, that's kind of what she did. Because regen in that game was horribly, horribly nerfed. You had regen, and that was it. Here you have regen and at least a 30% resist.
Oh, okay.
So you are freaking badass. It's also the only power in the game where you actually regen hit points while in combat. So I sit there and watch myself take 1.5 bars of damage, and then I watch it all come back. I'm just like,
I will definitely... Tira Blue will definitely be seeing the light of day again as the Savage in this game.
The Savage is a wonderful power set. I love it so much.
Poor Malice. I'm beginning to think I need to re-roll him. He is so squishy.
Well, you also, I think, kind of made yourself kind of blastery.
He's the mage type, yeah. The Grimoire.
You would not want to try to play with PD. Even if the Edith PD was the same level as you, she would rip you a new one. I love those dual gankers that would sit there in like the Ren Center, because it would be like I'd be sitting there like, if this person's challenging you to a duel, I'm like, oh really?
Oh really?
Oh my.
I remember you got one you said was a flyer. How did you deal with
flyer.
that?
So his entire function was to hover above your head, going, this guy's not a flyer, this guy's not a flyer, and try to pelt me with fireballs. So I was like, I've got pounce, bitch. Pounce, gank, pounce, dead.
Does he not understand the purpose of a were-cheetah?
I heal, bitch.
You heal and you jump very high at your prey, and usually catch it, too.
You do not hit the were-cheetah. Were-cheetah will kick your ass. You do not taunt Happy Fun Ball.
I'm just imagining the were-cheetah now batting at a villain that's tied up to a tree to a string.
She might do that.
I have a new shiny.
That's it. You're going to pay for that. Ooh, string.
See this hand? It is mine. See these things? They are mine.
Catch the string!
Oh, God.
Catch the string!
I'm sorry. You just caught me after watching an entire season of Red Dwarf. And I hadn't applied that concept to PD before.
We gotta find these guys so they can pay for my dry cleaning bill.
And now a whole new costume emerges for PD.
Oh, no. No.
Needs to have furs. And studs.
I'm sorry. It's just... some of the things the cat says, and applying it to PD just hurts. It does. It just hurts.
Actually, what was the new one? Oh, one of the new episodes. Accidents in 1970s in Switzerland, I think it was.
What's that?
Like the second or third episode in, the chain for like the first quarter to half of the episode was talking about accidents in Sweden or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. In 1970s. I think
move.
1979.
Yeah.
And actually, Rimmer was trying to take this test, and everyone had just read this, heard listeners talk about this book.
Episode from this season.
And so Rimmer's like, here's a question: if it's 1979, you're in Sweden, and you just swerved off the road and crashed and had an accident, what was the cause of the accident? Moose. And Rimmer just looks at Lister like, how the hell did you know that? Asks Crichton. Crichton's like, oh, a moose, sir. And
he gets like 2 words into the question, and Cat's like, a moose.
And Rimmer just looks at him dumbfounded. Up. It's in Sweden, Switzerland, right? Yeah, a moose. And then
awesome.
River just goes on this rant about how does the dumbest person in this ship know this question and I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, any closing thoughts on Champions for now?
If you've played Champions before and was not impressed, give it another go.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was very unimpressed the first time. It's
Yeah, the first
so
time I
much
played
better.
it, I barely got out of the newbie area.
I
Yeah, I don't think we got turned into the newbie area. She was already going, ugh.
well,
I played it for about 24 hours, turned it off, uninstalled it.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't do it again until I heard City of Heroes was going away.
Well, the graphics were so intense. I could not play it on my Dell Dimension 4700.
Well, it was. I just didn't like certain things about it. A lot of it I was able to tweak out by going through the graphic settings and turning off certain things.
Oh yes, that's one thing that also we didn't mention also is that you can actually turn off the really ugly cell shading. This game does not have good cell shading, let's just admit facts on that. And you can actually go into the graphics options and turn it off and it looks so much better.
Yeah, usually everything is covered in a black outline.
Yeah, I had
And
kind of...
it makes things look a lot more ugly and blocky.
And actually, let me see if I can do this here. Go
I'm
into
actually...
options. Just quick.
Comic style outlining, it's called, under effects. Turn it on, and normally you'll want to turn that off, and you'll want to move the world texture and character texture up to 200%.
Okay.
Otherwise, things look kind of sucky.
Yeah, the outline just does nothing for this.
World
Yeah, it's
texture
supposed
was
to make
like
yourself
down to
look
here.
more like a comic book character, and really, it just makes you look like a cut and paste. Literally,
Yeah.
what it makes you look like.
So this is for the viewers at home. This is what it looks like with the black outline and the cell shading, and pretty much how the game first looks when you first install it.
And yeah, no, just no. Turn the outlining off. Turn the world and character texture up to 200%. And you're close to City of Heroes, I would say high mode, not ultra mode. Although some stuff is fairly close to ultra. And that makes the game passable. It could be tweaked a little more, I think, but it's dealable. You get used to the play controls as you get into the game.
There
It
we go.
becomes more instinctive. I would play with a controller if you have a controller.
I definitely recommend the controller. It allows you to. There's a lot of attacks, at least for me, that you have to charge up as the marksman. So you have your energy building attack, and then you have to, if you want to get a nice strong follow-up attack, you need to press and hold down the action bar, and then release it, and that'll send out a nice strong bolt of like a sonic arrow or a piercing arrow. It'll allow you to do more damage that way, and it's a lot easier to do that with a controller than a keyboard.
If you're coming from City of Heroes to this game, I'll warn you, this game does not take itself seriously.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of things in here, a lot of references made by characters and players which are kind of fourth wall breaking. There is one guy in the startup area which talks about getting a GM. It is not a player character, it is an NPC. That's made as a joke, reminding you that this is a game. You just kind of deal with that and move on. Most of the rest of the plot deals with it itself rather decently. Some of the characters are cornball. Foxbat is the worst of all. He's also voice acted. Worst of all. They should have got Adam West to do his voice.
Foxbat.
I would thoroughly enjoy Foxbat if it was Adam West, because basically He's essentially supposed to be a 60s-ish TV TV show hero who, since his show was canceled, started to get starved for attention and became a supervillain. Attention back.
Oh god, that would be awesome if they
they'd
had
gotten
Adam West.
Adam West to do the voice, I would have. And Adam West will do a voice for something for a sandwich.
I was gonna say, does it even sound like Adam West at least?
No, he has one of the worst voice acting things in there. He's kind of squeaky and annoying.
Yeah, isn't he like the squeaky guy with the gas mask?
No, not the gas mask. No.
That's Alan Poe, I believe.
Yeah, that's Poe. No, Foxbat. When you get to the mission where you've got to rescue people from the TV station, Foxbat, you hear Foxbat in there, and he has kind of this squeaky, nerdy voice.
So apparently they dubbed him for the show too.
Yeah. Like I said, I would love to have Adam West in there. I would love to see him redubbed with Adam West's voice. Because, yeah, that would have just made that character awesome for me.
There might be a mod for this game to do that.
You'd have to get Adam West to do the lines.
Unless you got a very unknown that did a very good job of impersonating him.
You don't have to. Adam West will do lines for a sandwich. You give him a ham sandwich, he'll just be like, yeah, I'll do some lines.
Oh, you brought me cookies too. Oh, enter it.
Yeah, exactly. He loves to get his voice out there. So,
So Cryptic, yeah. Adam West.
Adam West.
Cheap.
Let's get
He's
some
cheap
Adam
and he's
West.
very effective.
I wonder if we could get him for GeekCon.
Oh,
That would be awesome.
that would be epic. We'd have to play the Batman movie. Sometimes you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Getting Adam West would be awesome. I'm not sure how much personal appearances he does anymore because he's also old.
Mm-hmm. But I'm sure if we paid for his airline ticket, he wouldn't mind.
Well, we couldn't get like Christopher Lee because Christopher Lee doesn't want to travel anymore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Adam West might be in the same boat. He doesn't want to travel anymore.
He seems to do quite a bit of traveling, actually.
Then he's still in good enough health that we might be able to get him for GeekCon. I don't know.
Yeah. He seems to still do quite a bit of stuff here and there, and I'm pretty sure he has to travel to do his voice work.
Depends on where they set up the voice acting studio, but that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so more final thoughts on Champions Online, guys?
Well,
I need to make this character brand new again. Too squishy.
yeah, I'm the only one that's of these two that's played it to end game. Make a character, find one you like, stick with it, get it to end game before concentrating on other characters. Altitis is easy in this game. It's like, ooh, that's a cool power set. I want to make something with that power set. Get your character to end game first, kids.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to save this costume and redo them.
Or you could just team with other people. You seem to do pretty well with me and Mary.
Yeah, but that's also because I'm like what 3-4 levels ahead of you guys.
Oh, get us
That's
up
not
to
gonna
level
last
with you.
very long. He won't last for long, and I'll end up getting this stuff that'll make me go squish. See, I don't know what it is, but I always seem to have the worst luck of being the target guy, no matter what character I play. So
You always want to be the tank.
I don't want to always be tank. I just end up being tank. Even when I'm in the back, I end up being the tank somehow.
Everyone just likes you. They like to hit you.
Yes, apparently I have very punchable characters, so I kind of end up having to become a tank in order to be a survivable, punchable character. But that's enough for now, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, my idea is pretty much follow Randy's advice. It helps if you have a powerful computer to play this game on. Like, Yeah, it's a fairly graphics intensive computer, and you'll probably need something a little fairly recent to play it
I
decently.
would say something not much older than 3 or 4 years old.
I didn't
Yeah.
have any problems playing it on my 10-year-old system, but mind you, that thing had been upgraded a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had problems playing it.
It's not so much processor, it's probably graphics card.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, this is one of 3 games that is taking the brunt of refugees from City of Heroes.
So much so, in fact, that a lot of characters have backgrounds in Sea of Heroes.
This is one of the 2 games that Cape Radio will be moving to when City of Heroes goes down.
2 games. What's the other game?
A Secret World.
Oh.
They were already planning to expand into Secret World before the shutdown announcement.
I'm kind of surprised they're moving over to Secret World. It doesn't seem to quite mesh with Cape Radio.
It's
Yeah.
the fact that there was a lot of members of the Cape Radio that were playing City of Heroes.
I was just
Or
thinking.
that were playing Secret World.
Okay.
And we could do a radio station from this. So it's going to be a spin-off radio station that's affiliated with the Cape.
Okay.
Ah.
I was going to say because our friend Bob, Bobson, he he found a role playing group that moved over to Lotro, didn't he?
Yeah, that's the 3rd one.
Oh, so they're not moving to DCUO at all? It's Champions, Secret World, and
A lot of
Lotro?
people that played City of Heroes don't like the play style of DCUO.
Yeah.
And
You
That's
gotta remember,
true.
you're the sidekick the entire game.
is that you're always playing in the shadow of the big DC Universe heroes.
It's like they said on MMO Grinder. It's City of Sidekicks is what it is.
I don't find that so much. But then again, I'm working for Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Batman! It's freaking Kevin freaking Conroy.
Yeah.
I spend my time going, that's awesome!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and as awesome as the voice work is in that game, I still have to sadly say it's like, can't I do my own thing? Can I just go over there and punch somebody? Be a villain?
Nothing stops you from going over there punching some villains.
No, go over there and be a villain. I want to be able to punch some civilians.
Then you want to play the other side of DCUO and wind up working for the Joker.
And yes, I have been playing for the Joker, and he seems to be having a fit with Bane.
Yeah, that's Bane's muscling in on his territory.
I know Bob's been playing DCUO lately.
Yeah,
DCUO and Rift.
I was going to join him on that, but being sick with coughing fits, the high speed combat of DCUO would mean fight, 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 cough, 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 cough. Oh, I'm dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just
But
wasn't.
I will actually wind up in a rapid fire coughing fit for like a minute. And so I get out of that, it's, oh crap. This game, I just quickly turn on my regen power, I'm done coughing, I proceed to continue kicking ass.
Okay.
AO, I get in a coughing fit, hey look, I'm still in combat.
Yeah, you were still at least taking pot
But
shots then.
DCUO, using the Unreal Engine, is just... You know,
Well, and
it's-
DCUO was also designed with consoles in mind, too.
What?
DCUO was designed with consoles in mind and
Yes, but
controllers.
it's using the Unreal Engine, which is an FPS engine.
Mm-hmm.
It is an FPS engine converted into an MMO.
Mm-hmm.
So the combat is a lot faster than you get in your average MMO.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So, yeah, you get a lot of twitch reflexes in that game. The combat in this is about halfway between City of Heroes and DCUO.
Mm-hmm. It is faster than City of Heroes, but
Yes, I like that.
you still have a chance to think about
Because
what you're
I
going
would
to do
play
next.
DCUO for a few weeks,
Mm-hmm.
come back to City of Heroes, and I'm just like, whoa, slow.
It is different.
I also, one last comment on Champions. I love the ability to charge up your power.
I do like that, too.
That is so much nicer than Sea Heroes, where I'm power. I have to sit here for 5 minutes.
Yeah, you also realize that the power builder in this game is technically a toggle, even if it doesn't look like it. So
Yep.
you can walk up to a monster, especially a big, strong one, hit X or, 1, if that's your power builder,
Yep.
and it'll just rapid flash, which means it's just constantly going off, and you can spend the rest of your time hitting your other powers,
Mm-hmm.
making it infinitely more useful.
Yeah.
So
as
it's
soon as
just
you don't
like,
hit buttons, it'll sit there and keep blasting again.
for me, it's like Y, B, Y, B, Y, B, out of power, hit, 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 hit. Okay, Y, B, Y, B, Y, B.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a few other of the combo powers I use when I'm fighting things like legendary monsters, which actually takes a good chunk out of them.
I like one-hitting 6 people with the multi-shot, the spread arrow thing that I can do.
Yeah, Nam has a kind of a flurry of blows power, which works in a cone attack. It's basically like a ethereal Armagurican. It's nice. It takes out an entire spawn in front of me. Very nice power. Like it. And it's a sustained one, so you have it until you drain your powers. So the same thing, you hit your power builder, you hit that until you run out of power, let your power builder build up, and then hit it again. Soon, you're out of bad guys. But Nam can't take a hit as well as PD can, which is why PD's become my main. I wouldn't want to try to fight a legendary boss with Nam, because he would get his ass kicked. Because it would be like 3 hits dead. Whereas, PD is like PD takes 2 hits, is already regen 1.5. It's a lot longer fight because PD has more staying power. I'm hoping to fix that on Nam later, but we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where are we meeting for next time, gentlemen?
Ugh.
That is a good question.
That's a good question. Let's see. We've done AO. We've done City of Heroes. We've done Secret World. We've done
Lord of the Rings
Lotro.
Online, yep.
We've done Champions. I think that's what we've done thus far, right?
Yeah. I could suggest Age of Conan. Although we haven't really gotten that far on that one either.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
there's
you've reached endgame, but
I've not reached endgame. I've reached mid to late game.
oh, okay.
I kind of got stuck crafting, and the cost of crafting mats has just pissed me off to no end.
Okay.
I haven't played that one much recently. I
Yeah.
could.
I've actually been getting into DDO again lately.
Yeah, I don't want to get into another Turbine game.
Not after spending $100 on Lord of the Rings Online.
Yeah.
Actually, you spend your first 6 to 7 levels just trying to, for free, unlock Drow.
I
don't want
I
to
have
unlock
60
Drow.
points away from it.
I didn't like it because
I always roll Shadow.
I didn't like it because I saw it as grinding the same dungeon like 4 or 5 times. You're doing the exact same mission, only slightly more difficult.
I would have to pay for DDO, because my goal would be to get to Farron as soon as freaking possible. Because I hate Eberron.
Get to the realms. Get to the realms.
Get thee to the realms so I can actually deal with things I actually care about.
I'm still trying to work my way there. Level 7 right now. Actually,
Yeah.
level 6. I'm almost 7.
Yeah, that would be my one problem with DDO. I know Bob has been trying to get us to play Rift.
I would have to install Rift. It would have to be the light Rift too, because I can't. I'm not going to pay for another subscription. I'm already paying for the Secret World.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to pay for that.
The first 20 odd levels of Rift are free.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be doing it until after I uninstall City of Heroes.
Yeah. We could go back into City of Heroes if you guys wanted to.
Do one last big hurrah.
One final goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a very sad episode.
Very depressing.
We could. I was actually thinking of trying to log in on the last day and record like the last hour or so of gameplay,
Oh, you do not want to do that.
and then just wait for
I will
everyone to be
completely lose
pushed
my
off.
reputation online.
Hmm?
I will completely lose my online cred if you do that.
Really?
I'll be crying into the microphone.
Oh.
Don't let them take City Hall!
I'll completely lose all my cred as a vocal asshole. I like my asshole cred. I've worked hard to achieve it. Bitch, I eat people!
It'll give me some good blackmail work for the Doctor Who podcast. Hey, Flynn, come here. If you ever want to crush Randy, there you go.
Well, there is EverQuest 2 went to free to play. I've been playing EverQuest 2.
I'm not going to touch EQ with a 10-foot pole, or EQ 2. It's up there with WoW, in my opinion, of games not to touch.
I gave it a try too, and I can't say I was ever really that thrilled.
It's very
great.
It is very grindy. I like it because it's very fluffy fantasy. Like, they have lions walking around that are made of ice and snow. And there's, like, the Cold Bane dwarves. They're little purple dwarves with white hair. They're the snow dwarves, pretty much.
My nausea is rising right now. I think I just threw up a little in my mouth.
They have the same things in Dungeons and Dragons.
Lineage, Aaron.
They have the same thing in 4th edition Dungeons and Dragons.
Aaron, yeah, it went from 10-foot pole based on what you said to 20-foot pole. If a copy of that game ever gets into my house, it gets burned.
Snapped over his leg and burned. Snapped over his leg, beaten to death with a hammer and burned.
I'm trying to think. I'm not even going to try to suggest Guild Wars 2. For one thing, neither of you has it.
No. Okay, that's even higher on the list. I will never trust another NCSoft game again. Especially, actually, I got this article in the mail today, sent to me by DS. Apparently, NCSoft is in a crap load of problems right now.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Could it be that they disenfranchise everyone who's actually giving them money?
Well, the Koreans aren't happy with them because their stock has just been plunging.
Oh, what is the article from, Randy? Do you have any source to cite on this, or?
Yeah, it's the Korea Times.
You get the Korea Times?
Yes.
From where?
koreatimes.co.kr/www News Tech.
Why do you get that?
I got it. I've got the article handed to me.
Oh, just because it was referencing NCSoft?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, why are you randomly getting articles from the Korea Times? Why are you subscribed to this newspaper if you don't live in Korea?
I am not subscribed to this newspaper. A friend of mine sent me the link to this article.
Okay.
You can probably figure out which one.
Yeah.
A couple of options.
Excuse me.
I can guess several, because I know several people who are boycotting NCSoft and will never buy another NCSoft game. The only reason why I'm playing Guild Wars 2 is because I bought it before the announcement that they were shutting down City of Heroes.
Yeah, it basically says that the firm stock price is now a third of what it was earlier in the year.
Well, it would help if they didn't do shitty, stupid ideas with City of Heroes.
I wonder if they ever got the forums up for Guild Wars 2.
The article is from 2 days ago.
Okay.
Decrease mostly stems from recent selling of its stocks by CEO Kim Taek-jon to its rival, which is Nexon, which is another big bastard in the internet community. It does not mention City of Heroes by name. A lot of replies to this article has been regarding the City of Heroes issue, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Its price share as of Wednesday ended at 156,000 won. The price in October of last year was 386,000 won and was still over 300,000 won in the first half of the year.
Well, people's confidence are shaken.
So it is like half of what it used to be.
I think they were planning on
What's that,
doing
half
a
is
big
a
thing
third.
for Ion too that hasn't quite come to pass. There's like
What?
some kind of big update they're doing for Ion, but like people are
Ion, they killed Ion ages ago. Except for in Korea, I think.
Okay.
Company showed performance below expectations, and that's why the stock price plummeted. To boost its price, NCSoft must show a new business model to guarantee better results.
Like, not canceling a good game.
Wow.
Be one idea right off the top of my head.
Okay, well, it's about midnight, and I have to get up at 5 in the morning, guys. We'll discuss later on where to meet next, and the viewers at home, you guys will know where we're
It'll
at
be a
because
surprise.
yeah, it'll be a surprise.
Yeah, if nothing else, maybe have the viewers decide where we're gonna go.
Well, remember, next week is still October, and I really do not want to install anything new until November. I've got like 40 gig left on this machine.
Mer?
Dude, 2 weeks is December.
Oh, we're waiting 2 weeks?
No, 2 weeks is December. You're saying October and November.
Yeah, I meant if we're doing something next week, it's still November.
Yeah.
I've got less than 35 gig left on this machine. I do not want to install a new MMO until after November 30th.
Yeah, I've only got 150 left on my machine here out of 500, I think. I have no idea.
36 gig.
I have about 400 gigs.
So,
I need to clean
lest
mine.
we do Age of Conan, Anarchy Online Champions, DCUO, Star Trek Online, Lord of the Rings,
Trek.
Secret World, Uncharted Waters.
Well, Star Trek could be another option, although Aaron has yet to play that game.
I haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
I don't have
I'm
it
gonna
installed
try.
either.
Those are the... Dear God, that's 8 MMOs that are installed on my computer at one point.
Yep.
Oh my God, that doesn't even include City of Heroes.
I've
I've 9 MMOs installed on my computer. What's wrong with me?
I would have to log into Steam to see all the MMOs that I have. I actually create a special tab on Steam for all my MMOs. I think I've got EverQuest 2, Age of Conan, City of Heroes, Champions, Guild Wars 2, World of Warcraft, what else? Anarchy Online.
Yes, next week, let's go to WoW and just talk about how much we hate that game.
We can do that if you guys are willing to install it.
I'm not next week.
Hate.
And
But yeah,
as long as we warn the viewers that it will be a WoW hate fest, so that they know if they like WoW, they can have the option of skipping that episode. I don't want to piss off too many of our
Well,
Or
alienate.
actually, even just blatantly say it on the title.
That
New episode.
I say
We
let's
hate
wait
WoW.
until after I can install. I have new install space. I will give it the same thing I did, because remember I installed Lotro under duress too. I will give it 1 week of solid playtime, and then I'll give you my opinion on it, and it will be my unbiased opinion.
Let me know what server you're on too, Randy. If you
We
let
will
me know what
discuss
server you
this-
guys are
We will
on.
discuss this when it is a more plausible concept.
Okay.
So, next week.
Now, if I
No.
install WoW on this machine,
Yeah, we're going to wait
I
until
will
after
just
next week.
go, where do I put my swap files? And crash on me. So,
Okay.
not happening.
Yeah.
All right. So let's hang it up for tonight here. Thank you all for joining us tonight. And we will see you all hopefully next week, if not the week after. All right.
Yep.
Thank you. Good night.
No.
Whee!
Get out of my eyes, teardrops.